Bodhanath Stupa in Kathmandu, Nepal. Bodhanath is a stupa in Kathmandu, Nepal, located about 11 km from the center and northeastern outskirts of Kathmandu. The stupa's massive mandala makes it one of the largest spherical stupas in Nepal. The Buddhist stupa of Bodha Stupa dominates the skyline. It is one of the largest stupas in the world. The influx of large populations of refugees from Tibet has seen the construction of over 50 gompas, Tibetan convent, around Bodha. As of 1979, Bodha Stupa is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Along with Swayambhu, it is one of the most popular tourist sites in the Kathmandu area. The stupa is on the ancient trade route from Tibet, which enters the Kathmandu Valley by the village of Sangku in the northeast corner, passes by Bodha Stupa to the ancient and smaller stupa of Cha with Makronba named Kurumati Stupa, often called Little Bodhanath. It then turns directly south, heading over the Bagmati River to Lalitpur, thus bypassing the main city of Kathmandu. Tibetan merchants have rested and offered prayers here for many centuries. When refugees entered Nepal from Tibet in the 1950s, many decided to live around Bodhanath. The stupa is said to entomb the remains of Kassapa Buddha. According to the history of Nepal, the palace of King Vikramaditya, Likavi king, once stood where the Narayanhiti palace currently stands. King Vikramaditya instructed that a doomed hara should be built in the southern part of palace courtyard. But there was no sign of water from the doomed hara, for which the king consulted astrologers. Astrologers suggested that a human sacrifice with a male candidate having Bhatislakshanas, or 32 perfections, should be performed. Only the king himself and his 2 princes were suitable candidates. So, the king decided to sacrifice himself and ordered one of his sons to sacrifice him so that sign of water could be seen at the doomed hara. According to local mythology, during the time of sacrifice, the head flew off to a place nearby Sangku Bajrayana temple. The prince then, with a regretful heart, flew a hen from the top of Bajrayana and decided to construct a stupa where the hen landed. The hen landed in the place where Bodhanath Stupa is currently standing. During the same time, the place was struck with a drought and the people managed to abate the scarcity of water by collecting the droplets of dew. So, the place was named Ksti, as in Nepal Beza, Kaz refers to dew and Ti refers to drops. Later His Majesty Government of Nepal renamed the place from Kasti to Bodhanath in order to reflect Hinduism as being the Hindu nation. The village that surrounds the great Kayapa Stupa is generally known by the name of Bodha, which in Tibetan is called Yambu Chortenchinpo. Yambu is the general name by which Nithamdu is known in Tibet, and Chortenchinpo means Great Stupa. The real name of the stupa in full is, however, Chirung Kashor Chortenchinpo, which may be translated into, have finished giving the order to proceed with. The stupa has an interesting history of its own which explains this strange name. It is said in this history that Kayapa was a Buddha that lived a long time before Kayamuni Buddha. After Kayapa Buddha's demise, a certain old woman, with her 4 sons, interred this great sage's remains at the spot over which the great mountain now stands, the latter having been built by the woman herself. Before starting on the work of construction, she petitioned the king of the time and obtained permission to proceed with building a tower. By the time that, as a result of great sacrifices on the part of the woman and her 4 sons, the groundwork of the structure had been finished, those who saw it were astonished at the greatness of the scale on which it was undertaken. Especially was this the case with the high officials of the country, who all said that if such a poor old dame were allowed to complete building such a stupendous tower, they themselves would have to dedicate a temple as great as a mountain, and so they decided to ask the king to disallow the further progress of the work. When the king was approached on the matter, His Majesty replied, "I have finished giving the order to the woman to proceed with the work. Kings must not eat their words, and I cannot undo my orders now." So the tower was allowed to be finished, and hence its unique name, Chirung Kash or Chorten Chinpo. I rather think, however, that the tower must have been built after the days of Kayamuni Buddha, for the above description from Tibetan books is different from the records in Sanskrit, which are more reliable than the Tibetan. The biggest stupa in Nepal. The Golarja Vaval says Bodhanath was founded by the Nepalese Likavi king Sivadeva, c. 590–604 CE, though other Nepalese chronicles date it to the reign of King Nadava, 464–505 CE. Tibetan sources claim a mound on the site was excavated in the late 15th or early 16th century and the bones of King Ashavarma 605–621 were discovered there. However, the Emperor Trisong Ditsun of the Tibetan Empire is also traditionally associated with the construction of the Bodhanath stupa. The Yamo Shakya Zangpo from Helambu resurrected Bodhanath. Like us and join us at Extreme Collections for more fun and knowledge.